Hey gang, for real Supergirl vlog for episode 7, Human for a Day. And I gotta tell you, I was really looking forward to this episode for a whole list of reasons. One, just, ever since I heard that title, I got a little excited for it. I just love the trope of the superhero loses their powers. And, even though they're gonna get the powers back by the end of the episode, I don't know. I just always enjoy seeing how the character reacts to losing something they've always had and gotten used to. And in that regard, it definitely did not disappoint. And I was also really looking forward to this one because my day at work was insane. So it was very much, I just want to go home and watch Supergirl. And I was not disappointed in the least. Again, it's like, maybe I'll do like a proper ranking once I own the DVD and have watched it again, but this seriously may be my favorite episode. So here we go on the dive into spoilers right now. And right off the bat, it is officially confirmed that Maxwell Lord is just a knockoff Lex Luthor, because his talk about how Supergirl saves us so we're not used to helping ourselves anymore, that is the logic Lex Luthor uses in a lot of comic book stories. That is basically Lex Luthor's. Well, that's the excuse he gives, and I'm sure part of him believes that. But anyway, that's a whole other video. So yes, I'm a little annoyed that not only are they just drastically changing a character so much, but they're just giving Supergirl a knockoff of the Superman villain instead of her own rogues gallery. That's just disappointing. But uh, but overall, yeah, I just, again, this is where I have to say, this is why I'm pretty much convinced this is my favorite episode, and I'm gonna, my dork is really about to show right now. um, for up until a few years ago, I was a fairly prolific fan fiction writer, and just about anything I had the least amount of interest in. And at one point, I just ended up creating this little universe of my own, and that became my obsession for a few years, where I just had Marvel characters with DC characters, with anime characters. Basically, any character I liked, I had created a universe where they all existed. I mean, what comic book fanboy doesn't at least toy with the idea of a combined Marvel and DC universe? I just took it several steps further than that. The big thing, though, in this universe, it obviously contained a Supergirl, but the twist I put on it, twist being real, Supergirl was the Superman archetype, for lack of a better words. Kal-El did not exist in this universe. It was only Kara and General Zod were the only Kryptonians. So not only was she the super powerful, most powerful superhero, I had her fill in the role of inspiration and whatnot. And not to toot my own horn, but I like my personal opinion, some of my best work was writing this incarnation of Supergirl. And I grew really attached to that incarnation. I got to the point where I found myself thinking on more than one occasion, when I found the comic book particularly frustrating with her 20,000 origins, I found myself saying to myself, DC should just let me write the comic book. So, yeah. And, as one might imagine with the show, um, I've been remembering a lot of what I did with the character, or wanted to do with the character. This thing became very scatterbrained. I wrote whatever my mind views wanted at the time. I had a very vague timeline and how things interacted, but there are Unfortunately, there are very few actual full-on stories from this thing, just little snippets here and there. But getting back on topic, so to speak. Oh, why did I put the cat back on? Anyway, the reason why I really like this episode, so to speak, was the scene in the convenience store, which cutting back and forth to Cat Grant's thing, but I'm going to focus on the convenience store, where Supergirl, powerless though she is, could very well die right now if the guy decides to shoot her. She talks him down, talking, I could see a better person. I know this isn't you, even though we've just met. That was my Kara. That is what my take on Kara would do. So to see it acted so. I realize how much of a broken record I sound, but it was done so perfectly. And then when she got her powers back, again, it just. I felt like I was writing this episode. It just hit a very personal chord with me. So yeah, there is that. So again, not only the bias of one of my favorite characters, but just it hit a very nostalgic personal chord. So I freely admit, I made it clear from the get go, I'm very biased in this show's favor. It would have to work very hard to make me not like it. I completely admit that. But so yeah, that was great. And then I was not expecting the answer to Hank Henshaw so soon. So once again, spoilers. This was big, and there are already articles on the internet blowing it away minutes after the episode, and like right in the freaking headline. The picture is the freaking screen grab. But I have a little more courtesy than that. But so it was revealed exactly what is going on, what went on with Hank Henshaw in this episode. And I both didn't and did see it coming. Because whenever, well, not every single time, but whenever Hank's eyes would glow, it reminded me of when Smallville did Martian Manhunter. Basically, no other way to say it really, a black guy with red glowing eyes. I just thought, well, that's just a coincidence, It's obviously not going to be the Martian Manhunter. I don't see how this show could do that. It was the freaking Martian Manhunter! And don't get me wrong, I love that. It completely threw me for a loop. And even while he was talking, it was like, okay, nostalgia, harmless alien, refugee. Okay, well, it could be just a made-up character. I'm sure there's a ton of alien characters in the DC universe that fits that bill. Last of his kind. Okay, well, I mean, Superman and Kara. And then he said Last Son of Mars, and I was like, oh, wow. And then we actually saw him. I didn't think we would see it because I figured the show wouldn't spend its budget on that. But we saw him as Martian Manhunter, wearing Martian Manhunter's costume. And so again, my inner nerd was just doing backflips in excitement. And they never did that in Smallville. The most we got was his eyes glowed, and his civilian clothes kind of looked like his costume, which I get for Smallville was really clever, but it's Smallville. But I loved it for two reasons. One, Martian Manhunter, great character, great twist. Really looking to see how that goes. But again, I've mentioned more than once, it's like they can't possibly do Hank Henshaw the way they can't send Hank Henshaw down the path his comic version goes down. There's just no way that'll work. And okay, yeah, unless this spins off to a Superman show, and we wait a few seasons, it still can't exactly do that. But we get something closer because it opens up the door to the original Hank Henshaw coming back, being pissed, and having, you know, finding a way to blame this on Kryptonians like a supervillain does. So, yeah, that's fantastic. So yeah, those are the big ones. And wow, I'm already past 10 minutes. I completely forgot to keep track of the time this time around. So I'm just gonna do a few quick more beats. Alex, still love how badass she is. You know, I love that she took down the bug guy. I love how she messed with Gem in this episode. Gem is actually a really obscure DC villain, so points for bringing him in. Again, Calista Flockhart continues to make Cat Grant more and more likable. The last exchange between Cat and Supergirl is just wonderful. Again, my Kara would compliment Cat that way. And then, bam, the General Astra just crashing in again at the end. Fantastic. And while I hate the whole winter finale, fall finale BS, you know, my day shows had a full season. I am excited to see this what's gonna go down next week. I'm sure this is what they were saving their budget for, and it just again, I am just so happy the show got a full season. I'm so happy that while it still has its issues, while it had a rocky start, while there's still room for improvement, it is improving. So, yeah, fantastic work. Win Win is still my spirit animal. I got a little annoyed at him on how he treated Kara today, but to be honest, if I was in that situation, I don't know if I would do any better. So again, guys, you're doing a wonderful job. Thank you for bringing one of my favorite characters to such wonderful life. And while you didn't attend it, thank you for hitting those nostalgic spots for me. I might start writing little Supergirl snippets again because you made me miss my character, and I almost feel like I'm tearing up right now. So anyway, that's it for this week. I will see you guys next week, and take care.